Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my OCs. This is a very late video for art fight. This is my card. You can add me and I'll follow you back. Anyways, let me tell you a bit about my OCs. My OCs live in a planet called Cytherea. It's a planet with 2 moons and it revolves around the sun with 2 rings around it, far far away from our galaxy. It has a long history and different nations, but there are 6 noble nations that rule many of the smaller nations. The noble families that rule each nation are descendants of the founders, who are the people who first awakened the noble powers many centuries ago. And each noble nation has its noble power holder. That person, most of the time, rules the nation. My law revolves around the noble families and the disputes between them and after effects of the war that happened between 2 major nations. I have many OCs, but right now I have only finished 8 of them and I'll introduce them now to you. I do have a bunch more, but they are in my head. Yeah. Okay, first, this is my main OC. His name is Malexer Yuvinov and his nickname is Mika. He's almost 23-24 years old. He's very tall, like 200 meters tall. He is the noble power holder of the Yuvinov family, which is my main family for the story, and he is also the main character, and he really sucks at cooking. So, he is a descendant from the noble family that once ruled the entire planet, but now they rule only few nations. When he was born, the family's infamous noble powers awakened within him after they were inhibited a couple of centuries ago for unknown reasons. Unfortunately, those powers caused a lot of pain for him due to centuries of long inhibition. He has a lot of scars on his body, but the most important ones are on his face, and they are a reminder of what happened at the center of the planet during the grand explosion event after the war. His powers are like liquidy smoke and fire, red and black, but electric in a way. He can fuse it to something to destroy it from the inside out, like the ground or a person, but he never does that to a living being, even if they are the enemy, because he knows it's a very horrible way to die, since he infuses it with his own body and it causes him great pain, but his body is compatible with it. He can also shape his power, for example a big sword and small projectiles. His necklace is very important since it's related to his powers. It was worn by the founder of the Yuvinov family, which is the first power holder. It gets passed down to whoever inherits the power, and each noble family of the 6 nations have some sort of a gem that represents the power. He is silent most of the time, but when provoked or talked to, he has no problem talking or showing emotions, but he's like guarding himself most of the time. He has albinism, but his eyes are like this because he has his powers activated at all times, and he still doesn't know how his powers fully work because of the lost century when the opposing noble family took over and destroyed every information related to his powers left behind by the previous generations. He also wears gloves to cover the scars on his hand, and also because sometimes his powers leak through them so he can prevent people from getting hurt by him accidentally. It causes pain for him to touch or hold things without the gloves. My second OC is Alicia Maxifo. Her nickname is Eli. She is 21 to 22 years old. She is a noble power haver of one of the noble families. Her powers are purple and blue with the galaxy or celestial-like effects, though her abilities are currently unknown. Her family is actually considered an enemy of my OC Malexer because of the conflicts that happened in the past hundreds of years ago. She has a kind of a similar situation of Malexer, since both of their families had their powers inhibited and they were waiting for a successor to be born with them, but their families are the opposite. Her father is the worst, basically. He believed that the one who should inherit the power should be a male because they would be stronger and would be able to stand against the Yuvinov family. He was waiting for a successor to be born, however none of his sons gained the powers, but one day his wife was pregnant again, with a daughter this time, which made him really disappointed since he wanted sons, but ultimately the powers awoken within her, which drove her father into deep hatred for her, and he refused to let the world know that she was born, and he hid her. No one outside knew that a successor from that family was born. He forbade her from going outside. Her mother, of course, stood against her father, but one day she got sick and unfortunately passed away. After that, everything went hell for Alicia. Her older siblings are not close to her since her father casted her away from them. The abuse from him became so much worse until one day he imprisoned her deep within the castle, not even letting her see daylight. All because he was mad that his daughter gained the powers instead of his 7 sons. Many years passed until the son of the other family, which is in alliance with hers, decided to betray them since he believed what they are doing is wrong, and of course, not just because of the imprisonment of Alicia, but their ideology and plans. Anyways, that person went to meet with Malikzar and he told him about the successor being hidden away and imprisoned. Of course, at first they didn't believe him, but he provided evidence, and after that, they decided to save her. She also wants to become a doctor because all the time she was imprisoned, and when her mother got sick, the only people who actually cared for her and helped her were doctors. Also, Mika and Eli are actually a couple. Their relationship is kind of complicated, but let's say in short, he is really shy around her and he can't express his emotions to her. But she is the one who tries to get close to him and encourage him to open up about his emotions. This is Ezekiel Reza. His nickname is Ray. He's 23 years old and he is a spy or a scout. He's extremely introverted. He comes from another nation that the world doesn't have much information about because it's a closed giant island. He was adopted by Malikzar's father and joined the Yuvinov family. He doesn't chat and only discusses important stuff. He's Mika's right hand. He has yellow teleportation kind of powers and he can use them to cut enemies during fights as well, though his ability takes a lot of energy. He wears around black sunglasses at all times and covers his eyes slightly with his hair since he hates them because they look like his father's. He escaped the giant shut-off island he was living in, and Mika's dad found him at the sea nearby and unofficially adopted him. He's obsessed with documenting everything in a notebook since he was a child and has a collection of them. Also, due to his powers, he sleeps a lot during the day. Sometimes he brings his hair up when he's focused or during training. He likes black so much, and yes, his closet is full of duplicates. This is Silas Yuvinov. His nickname is Sai. He is 56 years old and he is the military commander of the Yuvinov army. He is Mika's dad and he's the one who unofficially adopted Ray. He's mostly energetic and comedic, proud of his family and culture a lot. He loves battles and goes on explorations. He uses his cane as a weapon with a sword inside. He wears an eye patch to hide his eye, which has his powers. He found the eye in a cave underground somewhere after strong frequencies were discovered from the cave. He went there with a team and the eye attacked them and bleached itself into his right eye for an unknown reason. He has purple powers which are glass-like and he can produce it through his sword by channeling the energy of the eye. He can create, for example, a dragon because that's what he visualizes the most, since a dragon is the symbol of his family. He was born with no powers as well, so having enough control to basically create a giant dragon attack with his eye only shows how naturally strong he is. He lost all his limbs after an attack from the enemy multiple years ago, and his oldest son created his biomechanical limbs. He loves battles so much, and he always challenges the strongest he comes across just for the fun of it. He can also get crazy during fights. You'd think that he's the villain. He covers his eye most of the time because he is unable to close it and he can see far away with it and in the dark besides all the powers it gave him. So he can see through the eye patch because it's like a sunglasses lens. This is Valikas Yuvinov. His nickname is Val or the Great Father. He is approximately 120 years old. He is the emperor of one of the 6 nations of Cyteria. He is the oldest member of the Yuvinov family and he is the head of the family. He is gentle and calm and everyone seeks him for advices and support. He is powerful, but since he is very old, he doesn't use his powers unless necessary. His powers are energy transfer type of ability. For example, when a destructive laser is shot at him, he can absorb it with one hand and turn it into his own energy inside his body and then make it exit through his other hand as his own powers. He lost his ability to walk due to an injury to the spine after an attack by the enemy when he was in his 30s, which also killed everyone in his family during that time except him and his oldest son. He was saved by his allied nation that is ruled by the family that has been friends with his family since the founder's era. He can walk again due to the treatment from Bias and his medical inventions and from the help of Vilara's healing abilities. He's sometimes on a wheelchair, or he can walk occasionally with a cane. This is Vilara Naina, or Vey for short. Her age is unknown. She is the High Priestess of the Naya Nation, which is one of the 6 nations ruling the planet, and the carer of the land tree, which is connected to the center of the planet. She cares for everyone as well and is nicknamed Mother or Mother of All. She's also blind, but she is able to see through her powers and is able to manifest butterflies or moth-like creatures to communicate with those who are far away, or to send a bit of her powers through them and to communicate with the tree and its roots. She is the best healer in the world and was able to heal the planet's core after the Great Destruction. She is calm and collected and very intelligent and wise. She is the High Priestess of the clan that took care of the planet for centuries, and she is rumored to be 300 years old. She is also able to keep herself alive for that long and young due to her noble powers. There is a gem in the middle of her forehead and it's pearly white, and each the noble gem related to her powers, and it's directly stuck to her forehead. The crown on her head is just for decoration to highlight its position, which was gifted and handmade by Val. She keeps her eyes closed most of the time, but she can open them, and they are pearly gold with a white pupil. Val and Vey have kind of like a tragic love story. So in short, their story is, when he got rescued by his allied nation, they treated him, but they couldn't fully treat his paralysis. Back at that time, there was a good connection with that clan ruled by the priestess, though in the far past they were actually allies with them. Based on that, they took so long to look for a messenger, and they finally recontacted the clan, and after some time, the priestess agreed to meet, but on one condition: to go out to them herself, mainly because she took that as an excuse to travel to a new country out of curiosity. Since she is the priestess of a noble bloodline and she is the holder of the power as well as the clan's ruler, she must be protected, and that condition was refused, but the history between them was respected since they were very close allies hundreds of years ago, and the priestess remembers. They finally met, but because many years passed, she couldn't heal him fully, but at least she made the pain go away, and he is able to stand for a few seconds without help. Well, with interactions and all, he fell in love. The man who rescued him noticed and told him, "You know, she's the priestess." He said, blushing, "What are you talking about?" The man said the priestesses of Naina are banned from relationships and marriages. Val knew that, but she's too kind and beautiful, and she, well, had that look on her eyes that he just couldn't explain. For years and years, until decades passed and time took a toll on Val, him aging as she just remained the same, which made the sadness even worse. But they never got to be a couple due to that, so it's a tragic old love story. This is Vai Yuvinov, and his nickname is Vai. He is almost 35 years old. He is a scientist and an inventor. He's stern and he doesn't have time for fun, but he does care about people and wants to create inventions to improve their pain or life. He is the smartest person in the Yuvinov-ruled nations and one of the smartest in the world. Even enemy nations respect him. His inventions help the nation a lot, especially in the harsh winter environment and the medical field worldwide, and even everyday life. He is Malikzer's older brother, and he's the CEO of the UVN Innovation Company and the main inventor and scientist working in it. He works almost daily with no breaks or vacation, and he is often forced to get a break by his wife, which also is a scientist specializing in neuroscience. And together they have 3 kids. He created biomechanical prosthetics for his father and a biomechanical spine for Val. He also made his own biomechanical arms with the help of his wife after he was kidnapped by the biggest terrorist organization and was tortured by crushing his hand as a punishment for refusing their orders because he refused to make the destructive weapon they demanded him to make. He was rescued by Mika, but it was too late. The group responsible escaped and his hands are not usable anymore. He under no circumstances vowed to never make any kind of weapons, especially large-scale destruction weapons, because he cares about people and the planet, and he doesn't want to be a reason for further violence against anyone. Though he's willing to make small improvements for personal kind of weapons for the sake of defense. For example, his father's sword and his own prosthetics have a string type of weapon for defense, melee, and constraint. But after many nagging, of course, he doesn't have any powers and he relies on his technology for defenses if he was under attack or a threat. He usually stays inside and doesn't like outdoor stuff. He wears a triangle earring, which is a button to activate his hologram screens, so he can take notes and work anywhere he goes since he's a workaholic. This is the last character, and his name is Veer, and he doesn't have any nickname. He is the royal guard of the queen who rules that isolated giant island. Not much is known about it, and anyone who attempts to enter, well, let's say, they get taken care of. Though there are rumors that the island is so large that it has its own mixed climates from deserted areas to snow-filled regions. Anyways, Veer is the closest to the queen. They grew up together after her father saved him from a conflict-torn region while he was neglected in an orphanage. But unfortunately, tragedy struck and both the king and the queen died at the sea since they were advocates for slowly opening the borders of the island. That tragedy left the princess alone and she became the queen with only Veer as her family and by her side, and of course the workers of the castle. Due to that, the island became even more isolated and not even much is known about the queen. Even her subjects know little about her. Veer is overprotective of her and takes every order she declares to her. He is responsible for the protection of the castle and the radius around it. Using his teleportation powers and staff, he can destroy any enemy or unauthorized subject within seconds. He teleports by creating a spit-like circle pattern under him or anything he wants to teleport by adjusting the size and location of the circle, and he is able to use it to travel with super high speeds. His eyes are pure gold with no pupils. So these are all my OCs, and it's a complete coincidence that the last 4 have their names starting with the letter V. This video took so long to make and like 2 weeks passed since art fight. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know which OC you prefer the most. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.